know, is it too much to ask? You're on meds for 3 years, right? And then when you get off of them, the side effects go away. But really, would it be too much to ask for the regular effects to stick around for a little while? I am in the Gribbly Spotlight Community Garden and Massage Parlor to bring you your Sunday anti-socials this morning. It is Sunday. I have tobacco in my mouth. Hang on. I'm chewing Fusilier's ration, and I hope I'll be smoking it again soon. There we go. And drinking some coffee. It's gonna be super hot. This is gonna be funny. Ah, it's hot. Okay. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, right? I started this whole channel so that I wouldn't go crazy, right? And then I started the whole, like, even after I had a YouTube channel to keep me from going crazy, that wasn't enough. So I turned it into the Gribbly channel to further keep me from going crazy. All the while I was on this like constant dose of anti-crazy pills, right? And so what I glean from that, the logic that I can apply to that says that because I had to take further steps to be not crazy, that meant that the world got crazier around me, right? That nothing changed internally. It was that in 2016, the world was really, really crazy. Now, the Sunday anti-socials are the time each week in which I complain about humanity and answer questions from it. So we will get to your questions, but first we have some complaining to do. What I'm discovering now that I'm off the meds, God, it's hot. I don't know what I was expecting. I just poured it out of the anyway, now that I'm off the meds, I'm discovering that the world didn't get any less crazy because I went off the meds. In fact, everyone seems a bit crazier. Now, unlike most people who go on SSRI, antidepressant meds, I was not having problems coping. Like, it wasn't like my life was so hard that I couldn't cope. I was having a panic disorder brought on by my OCD, right? And it was like this very specific thing. It's not that I'm in a bad mood. It's not that I'm irritable. I mean, all those things were true. That's just not why I went on the meds. I went to the doctor and I was like, look, I couldn't get off the couch for like 2 days in a row because I was having a constant panic attack. Let's do something about this. And so the fact that the meds helped me cope for 3 years or so. Was that? Yeah, almost 3 years. The coping was kind of a side effect, actually, because I'd never felt like I had trouble coping before, but I definitely noticed, hey, I don't get as upset anymore. This is great. And then a year ago, I started meditating every day. And I noticed even more. I was like, man, I never get upset anymore. This is awesome. This is, like, you could like tie me to a stake on a pile of fire ants, and I would be like, yeah, this sucks, but I'll be okay. And now I'm off the meds, and I'm really pissed off. I got in a fight on Facebook this week. Then it just, I realized what was happening. I was like, whoa, I'm off the meds. I need to stop this. This behavior is exactly why I had to like step back from social media. So I managed to step back, even though someone on the internet was wrong. I managed to step back. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, right? It's justified. It's not like he was a strudler or anything, This is not about Pop-Tarts. This is just about a school shooting. So I managed to step back from that, and but then I did I did notice that I was checking the news. I was checking the news a little too much. I was falling back into some old habits of coping with things by checking the news, as if looking at other people's problems might help me get through my own. And not that I really have that many problems, but it's just it's a bad plan. And I really had to stop when I came into contact with people saying that the self-care fetish of the privileged is what puts people like Donald Trump into power. And it just brought up all this stuff about why I started this channel to begin with, and why Gribbly was born, which is, fuck you and your accusations of privilege. This isn't about privilege, this is about conscience. But we don't need to talk about that, right? Because I'm not going to talk about that because I'm stepping back from my own mental health because it's self-care. Wait. I must admit it hit a nerve. It hit a nerve because I all of a sudden saw everything I've been doing for the past couple of years as a self-care fetish for the privilege. Like, you know, the fishing is very much self-care. The meditation, the yoga, all that shit. And of course, I mean, as much as some would disagree, pipe smoking is an act of self-care, right? You're doing something you enjoy. My opinion, I think the opinion of those of us in the YTPC is that the self-care benefits of that far outweigh the health risks. Of course, everything in moderation, blah, 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 blah. But all of a sudden, I felt very questioning of my own resolve to stay the hell out of all the political stuff and all the societal stuff, and to worry about improving myself, making myself a better person, as opposed to worrying about proving everyone on the internet wrong. I lost a good friend during the election because I didn't vote for her candidate. And she said that my abstinence from the voting booth was privilege. I mean, her candidate was obviously a criminal, but it was privilege. You know, it had nothing to do with conscience. It's privilege to be able to not vote for criminals because there are underprivileged people who have to vote for criminals. I guess that's the logic. I don't understand. I don't quite, but I see the same thing in the. Of course, it was on Huffington Post. Of course, it was. Of course, the piece was on Huffington Post of like, oh, you know, you've got this privilege. You can take care of yourself, but there's plenty of other people out there that can't take care of themselves. And you know what the truth is, though. I didn't expect this video to go this way. The truth is that if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else is going to take care of you either. And the people that I know a guy in a really dire situation right now, and the people that I know in dire situations, if they would take care of themselves a little bit, their situations would improve quite a bit, because it gives you the perspective to see yourself as an actor in the whole situation, right? If you can rise above being focused on your suffering just a little bit, you take care of yourself just a little bit, and you rise above being like, oh man, my life really sucks. Like, oh well, but I was able to go fishing today, or I was able to stretch my torn back, or whatever the hell is wrong with me. By the way, thank you for all your concern about my back. It is much, much better. I took it easy. That's not true. I didn't take it easy. I went fishing twice more, and then I decided maybe I should take it easy. And so I've been taking it easy the past 4 days. I have not gone fishing and have not done my Satan stretching, and now my back feels much better, but my ankle/foot, the ankle foot bone, tendon, artery, whatever in there that is being pulled by the tight muscles in my leg, that is not doing well, and I need to get back to the Satan stretching, especially because I have a wedding later this afternoon, so that's going to be taxing. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is, if you take care of yourself a little bit, you value yourself a little bit more, and then you might actually start to expect more from other people at the same time that you value them more too. Meanwhile, if these were the good old days, I would lift up the Irish Times right here on camera, and I would wave it at the actually, if this were the good old days, I would never have read this article, because why would I have ever read the Irish Times? Fintan O'Toole has, I guess, Fintan, I don't know how to say that. Fintan O'Toole has a piece in the Irish Times this week. Fascism, trial runs for fascism are in full flow. Thank you, Mr. O'Toole. Glad to see that the Irish have finally caught on to what the rest of us have known for the past couple of years now. Yeah. His other than being a couple of years too late, his piece is pretty spot on. And I read this sort of on the same day that I read the HuffPo piece, and you know, on the one hand, I got sort of the personal hit about maybe I shouldn't care for myself quite so much. And then also I get, well, yeah, Trump's a fascist. Of course he's I mean, of course he's a fascist. I had a friend that was like, oh, you say that about every Republican. Well, no, I don't. I didn't back before it was true. And, you know, words have meanings. Words have meaning. So yeah, this is the dystopian future in which we live. Thank you, Ireland, for pointing this out. This piece has been going around on Facebook. And so if this is really the case, do you think making me like guilting me into voting for whoever the hell is going to run against this is really the solution? Do you think that's what's going to solve it? I mean, okay, the piece is good. Fintan O'Toole's piece is good. And he's got some turns of phrase in there that got even me, even my veteran jaded perspective. Yeah, a couple of things got me. His point that Trump was using the language of the immigrants infesting the U.S. And that's test marketing for whether his fans are ready for the next step up in language, which is of course vermin, which was exactly what I thought when I heard Trump say that was a step further. But the point being, Mr. O'Toole, what do you want us to do about it? What should we do about it? Because I got people telling me Hillary Clinton's going to run again in 2020, and I need to vote for her. That's what I'm hearing. That's what will solve Gribley's problems, is I can come back out of the woods, right? I can come out of the woods off the meds and be happy if I just vote for Hillary Clinton. We're still saying this. And I spoke with a Beltway insider over the weekend, and I was like, look, people are talking about Hillary Clinton in 2020. He was like, no way. Now I'm here to tell you, there's a way. I don't make predictions anymore after all of my predictions failed, but mark my words, Hillary Clinton will be running for president in 2020. Mark them. If I'm wrong, I will eat a toaster strudel on camera. In 2 years. So I got 2 years to gird my loins. It'll be like the character in Princess Bride that like builds up the immunity. Anyway, the point being, that didn't work before. So we're going to try the same thing against this monolithic fascism that we now have to deal with. No, Hillary Clinton was part of the monolithic fascism. Why is that so, like, I come up for air once every 3 years, and I'm like, you guys are still talking about this? Politics are no solution to a spiritual problem. And before Pipe Smoking Board Gamer gets triggered, I mean spiritual in the very loose sense, but also in a very specific sense. I mean, I think if you're a religious person, or a person of faith, or a person that just maybe wants to hope that there's like a higher order out there, that the spiritual solution to the problem is love your neighbor and don't invest in people that don't. Don't invest in either side. You know, it's easy for me to be like, hey, John Ferguson, you're a Trumper, get off my channel. What's the point in that? And it's easy for people to say, hey, you didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, Gribbs. Go back in the woods where you belong. What's the point in that? So I have to remind myself that when I get in these, now that I'm off the meds, now that you're getting the unadulterated Gribbs, right? I got to remind myself, hey, chill out for a minute. These are people too. Fascists, but still people. Even fascists aren't vermin. Okay, I'm not going to make the joke that Hillary Clinton is vermin because she's, okay. Hillary Clinton is vermin, but not in the like final solution sense, but in the, I've just destroyed my whole argument. I'm like 10 minutes into this monologue. I'm not going to go back and fix it. You know what okay, yeah. What I love is people saying like, oh, if Hillary runs again in 2020, it'll all be fixed. She won yeah, okay. So like Trump's campaign slogan was like concentration camps, and Hillary Clinton's campaign slogan was like probably no concentration camps. So the point that I'm trying to make is politics is not a solution to a spiritual problem. And if spiritual for you, just means not using policy to fix a personal grievance. Maybe interpret it that way, but that's why Gribbly is here. That is it. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna keep up my self-care fetish. What if we just combine these two words that liberals love to use, privilege and fetish, and just call it fetish? My self-care fetish. I'm gonna keep doing it and keep bringing you videos about it. Now to your questions. Hitler was an amazing cityscape artist. Hitler. All right, says Carving Piper. But he never painted any people in his works. Weird. That is not entirely true. It will surprise no one that I happen to be a little bit more knowledgeable on the subject of the Chancellor of the Third Reich than your average American. I've done a little bit of study on what makes people into figures like Hitler. Which is why just go back and watch the first part of the video. But the point being, it's not entirely true. He did paint some people. And I was just looking this up. Hitler painted some biblical scenes, but he was really bad at people. He didn't paint people very well. And he did do very precise architectural renderings. Oh, we were talking about Max. We were talking about the movie Max last week. That's why we're talking about this. Precise architectural renderings. But his people were always really out of scale to the buildings. That was one of his failings that kept him out of prestigious art schools and made him go into politics rather than art. Thank you, prestigious art schools, for sending him along that path. But yeah, can we draw any conclusions from the fact that Hitler, had these grandiose visions of state houses and stuff, and then the people were all tiny and out of scale? I think we can probably certainly see where he placed his importance. Speaking of famous world leaders that were painters, George W. Bush is also a painter, and this can't be real. These just can't. Oh my God, they're real. Oh my God. All right, let's move on. Okay, so John Ferguson says, Derek Tant is now smashing toilets on his channel. Will Gribbly become as diverse in the future? Well, no, because I am not a strudler, and I would never stoop to such levels, to such base levels as using that for people, just for the clicks, Tant just wants people to click on his bait. I would smash something much more high class like a bidet. John Galdieri, Paulie's brother, asks, what is it in people that either makes them want to reach out and help others in need versus making them want to hurt or put down those in need? It's fear, John. It's fear. That's what does it. People in need are scary things. They're really terrifying. I know some of them, and they scare me. And you have to, your natural evolutionary instinct is to want to insulate yourself from people in need, because you don't also want to be in need and you're afraid it's contagious. So I think, I mean, this is, I don't know. I'm just some dude on the internet, but I think it's fear response. I think, are you conditioned? Are you naturally predisposed to have a fear response when you see a hobo walking towards your wife on the street? Yes, I am. That I have a fear response, and have responded poorly to hobos accosting my wife on the street. I have not responded, dare I say it, I have not responded in a Christian manner. In fact, I threatened one with a mag light one time, and it worked. He went away. And that was, see, okay, you're getting glimpses now, because you guys have never known me off the med. You're getting glimpses of unmedicated Gribbs here. If you give money to hobos, they will drag you down with them. That's the idea. That's the idea, and that's the same idea with the situation on the border right now. If we let these kids and their parents into the country, they will drag us down to their third world levels that they were trying to escape, right? And here's what you're gonna not hear anywhere else. Boy, this is an interesting episode today. There's some painful truths in this one. They will. It's true. It's simple math that there's only so much money I can give to the hobo before I become a hobo myself, right? And there's only so many, teeming masses. Wait, what? How many mass? What describes the masses? Huddled masses. Huddled masses. Yearning to breathe free. Huddles masses. Tired. Whatever. There's only so many of those people that you can let in at one time, right? Before you have a bunch of people in your economy with no jobs, and this brings right. So the challenge is not to care. That's what we're commanded to do. If you actually go back and read the source material, it's not like, hey, if you just give all your money to hobos, God will come down in an array of light and give you more money. No, you're going to be poor too. You're just not supposed to care. But on to the more important questions in life. Tacos and French fries, love the username, and it checks out. Very important Pop-Tart question. Is cinnamon really the best? I'm already in a bad mood. And you want to trigger me like this? Yes, brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts are the best. There is no other Pop-Tart. I've tried them all. I have tried them all multiple times on a single day. This morning I was studying other flavors at the grocery store. S'mores. No. An actual s'more, like with organic marshmallows and artisanal chocolate and graham crackers, is still not as good as a brown sugar Pop-Tart. Cellrod55 asks, Ansel Adams, I think he is an art. Are we really going to talk about Ansel Adams? Really? I went... No. Ugh. There's a great quote by a photographer named Henri Cartier-Bresson, who was asked what he thought of Ansel Adams. This was in the 30s. Cartier-Bresson escaped from the Nazis twice, much like Indiana Jones. See the hat right here. So you can see on which part of the divide between the Adams and Cartier-Bresson. Anyway, okay, right. Cartier-Bresson was riding in a motorcycle sidecar, being chased by Nazis, and he grabbed a flagpole off the side of the road and rammed them like as if it were. All right, let's be serious here. Ansel Adams. So Cartier-Bresson was asked about Ansel Adams, and he said, "The world is going to hell, and Ansel Adams is shooting trees and rocks." Don't get me wrong, Ansel Adams was very technically proficient. I mean, yeah, he was. He's fine. He's a good photographer. But his legacy is that of technical expertise, because he was the guy with his partner who participated equally, but who no one can remember, including me. His partner, Ansel Adams, and his partner, who was lost to history, came up with the zone system, which was a way of actually dealing with the infinite gradations of light that photographers must deal with. And Ansel Adams was sort of the first one to really, really hone the system and put it into practice. And that is his legacy. And that is why we all study him. But between you and me, I think his work is supremely boring. There are a few, the El Capitan piece is nice. Moon over Hernandez, New Mexico is a nice piece. I used to teach that one in class, and there's some subtext there that's pretty good. But in general, I think you should check out Walker Evans and of course Cartier-Bresson. I think those folks might broaden your photographic horizons if you want them to be broadened. Maybe you just like Ansel Adams. That's fine. Some people eat toaster strudels. If you're just tuning in and you're wondering what the hell is going on, why did this guy talk about fascism for 10 minutes and now he's talking about Ansel Adams? It's because there is a hashtag, AskGribbs, and you can put that hashtag in front of any question you've ever wanted to know the answer to, no matter how personal, how silly, how grandeur, how unanswerable? I will answer it, my friend. I will answer it. Just like this one from Typing Piper, also obsessed with self-care fetishes. He wants to know about toilet paper. Hashtag AskGribs toilet paper, over or under. I don't like toilet paper holders, which are, I don't like for my toilet paper to be suspended from a wall. It just seems like you're kind of overplaying the role of toilet paper, So I prefer cylindrical, like vertical, sitting on the back of the toilet. There isn't really an over or under. It's a sideways. So I guess you could say clockwise or counterclockwise, and that answer would depend on the hemisphere. And with that, your Sunday anti-socials are complete. If I still have any subscribers after this video, don't forget to check out the Grib Grinds Minecraft channel. I'll put a link in the description below. He says, and never does, so I don't know why I would do it this time. I think we're up to 15 subscribers over there, which is leveling out. We had kind of an exponential growth for the first week, and now we're holding steady in the mid-teens, and that's just fine. I'm just playing Minecraft and having fun. I might be playing a little too much Minecraft, because as you can see, I have some issues that I would much rather bury while I do something like a video game. Oh, speaking of, Fireplug 1701D, I forgot, this isn't really a question. Interesting talk about first-person shooter games. I enjoy playing a game called Kaboom. It is Russian-made, and the graphics are similar to Minecraft. Russian-made, huh? Huh. I think Rod Rosenstein's going to want to talk to you, buddy. That's it. It was truly antisocial. Meme review. I'm out. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.